Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Today it's March the 5th. Wow, what a week it's been. First chart that I'm going to look at is XLE this morning. Let's see, before we get started though, can I just get a yes that you guys can see and hear my screen? So we go ahead and start here. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, good morning, everybody. Let's start here with XLE. So we started this trade a long time ago, and a lot of things have come true, right? They continue to hit our targets and so forth, and we are on our way to the trendy edge, and that's what I'm looking for. So if you're scared to take XLE, if you have not been in XLE and you're wondering, is it too late? I'm going to show you a plan that we can take a look at right now that could uh, potentially result in more profits here. So let's go ahead and look at that. This is XLE on the left. We are looking at weekly. On the right, we're looking at the 4-hour. And over here are my trade alerts from the brokerage account. We do have some support down here on the 4-hour coming in right around the 9 EMA and a double inside and up. And over here, we're looking for, again, the Trinity Edge by 55 and 3/4 by 61.20. This is something I am interested in as it continues to show strength. You can see here higher lows and higher highs. So how do I want to approach this? Well, it's quite easy. This ME right here, this is another trendy edge on a smaller time frame. You can see that price continues to come back there and it found support. And once it found support, it continued its way up. Okay, so one thing you could do is come over here to the previous high and just identify that at about 51. All right, now I'm going to take some fibs. I'm going to measure from this pivot low into the pivot high here. And we want price to stay at least above 40% of this. And so there's a couple things that you can notice. We have the 9 EMA that is confluent with that level. So that 51.31, if for some reason the market were to pull back or XLE were to pull back, I'd be waiting for that price there. All right. Now, again, I don't have to wait. I can go ahead and go in, and this could be the area where I can add to my existing position, or I can get stopped out underneath this. So as of right now, the risk for this trade starting today would simply be just around $1.50. All right, and I'd probably move that up just a tad and make it about $2 for me. Okay, so my risk would be 2, and I'm looking for again a move up here towards the trendy edge around 57. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We'll start with the ES futures. Very, very important. What's going on over here? All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So far, the price has pulled back into our green box. We try to make this as easy as possible for traders. I mean, seriously, how hard can it be? There's a green box. That's where you start the trade. That's where we start to look at longs in the market for our swings. And when price hits the red box, that's where we start to allocate smaller. Okay. Right now, I'm about 90% cash. Okay. I've been adding into this dip, looking forward to this green box holding. Now, I have one more tier that I can add into my long positions in case we want to come back to the 36.90. I was telling my members this morning, I've been doing this a long time, and one thing that I like to talk to traders about is typically when we're pulling back on consecutive red days, we get a lot of quiet traders. I think that's pretty common. People get scared, they get concerned, they have red days, they have consecutive red days, things aren't working. Just remember that's a part of trading. There's nothing wrong with red days. If you came into trading thinking that every day would be green, you're going to be really upset and you're probably going to quit. Okay. So here we are. We are bouncing out of that green box and we're starting to move up here. Now, your targets for today to the upside, just like I have taught you the last several sessions, there are numbers that we need to be concerned with. Okay. All right. So 38.10, that's our first target, and you can see that it's married up very well with this EMA here. And then the 38.38. Okay. Now there are some important ones. Let's go over here and look at my Trendy updates. All right. So these three I want to talk about. A close above 38.08 is an inside week. It's an inside week. That's very important. I love inside weeks. Inside weeks end up consistently inside and up, inside and down. We're still bullish on the year. So an inside week would really show a lot of bull power here in this demand zone to the downside. Okay? So again, that green box is working so far. You can say that it's because of job numbers and all this other stuff, but we teach these levels before any of that happens. Okay? So we didn't need any sort of temporary report in order to be convicted that the green box would work. I just want everybody to understand that. So again, 38.08 is an inside week. If we can close above 38.02 roughly, and I will check back later over here on the weekly, that means that prices dip down into the green box and then it's closed above that 9 EMA. Over the history of the last several months, the weekly has come down, tested that 9, and a lot of traders have dropped their positions because they're only using an EMA technique. They're like, well, if the market can't hold the 8 or the 9, then we have to jump out. But if you look back at history, again, the market has proved that it flushes traders out under these EMAs. Then it picks back up, and there's one important thing that I really want to tell you about, and that's this last sentence that I let my members know about this morning. The, I want to leave you with this. I've been doing this a long time, and the market goes for a period of time where traders are quiet. Market will bounce, and traders will watch and try to build their confidence. They tend to wait so long after a few days for conviction, right? So right now they're like, I don't know if I want to buy it. The green box is there. I've seen them do it a million times, and they'll continue to watch, and then they'll finally execute. And typically, when a trader finally executes, it's into an area of resistance. And so, therefore, they take the trade too late and they get busted again. Their feelings get hurt and they feel like it's not the right place to be. Listen to me, when you're buying a dip, as traders will say, or you're buying lower on the curve, it's not comfortable. It never will be. If it were comfortable, it would be easy. Trading is not easy. Okay. All right. That last level that we talked about right here, it closed below 3772, opens a higher probability to the lower trendy edge, which is 3690. So 3690, this pink level down here. Okay. So please remember these levels over here. All right. Let's go ahead and get in there. We're going to go back to the live alerts here. All right. So again, making its way up here, targets now for intraday 3810, 3838, 3867. If we pull back into or around 3789, this is a buying opportunity for today. I would be leaving. It's going to be a little volatile, so I wouldn't want anything more than a 5-point stop. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I've already went over XLE. Here's another one that I want to go over. I am in a position here. It's important because we have the 37 and a halves, and we're pretty darn close to 37 and a half. This is the blueprint for BAC, Bank of America. Okay, so I went large on this and then I trimmed at 30%, and it was a roll where I had already made money and I went ahead and put some profits into this. During this whole entire time, financials and energy have been doing really, really well. And you can see that BAC is following our blueprint quite well. I went over this in a video that I sent out to everyone by email and here on Twitter. And you can see that as long as the 618 holds, I said stay long into potentially the next Fibonacci, which is further up here towards 39. Okay. So again, this support is coming around 36 bucks. We're coming into our next target at 37.39. If we can hold a base up there today, I would look for continuation to the upside, and you could see 38 today. It's potential. Okay. All right. A couple other things I want to go over. I started AMD yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so check out AMD is starting to move a little bit. I think we actually even added. So we bought, It was up nicely, and then it pulled back with the rest of the market, and then I went ahead and added again. So here we are this morning as we pick up and move. Okay, so that's looking really good. And with these equity trades, what we can do is if you're adding in with me, you can simply sell into strength. Does everybody understand that? You can have a core position, whatever that core position is to you. Some traders in here, it's probably 5,000 shares. Other traders, it might be 20 shares. We have all sorts of traders in here. Just understand what your number is. So you can trade around that core. If you got, a 500 shares on, you buy the dip, you can go ahead and sell some into this move up this morning. Okay. All right. So a couple others that I want to talk about. TIGR, the Tiger. This one's paid me really well this year. And since my last trade in it, it's pulled back a little bit, but I think it's looking pretty good right now pre-market. So I know I'm coming into a nice positive PL at the moment. That's a nice change. The last several days have been hard because we're buying the dip, and it's never fun when it keeps going down, right? But there will be a time where we do find a bottom. Okay, so here we are on TIGR. I can't make this up, folks. You've seen this over and over. This is the trendy edge. This is where we added in, and this is what's happening. Just like the ES, we need to get over these clouds. If we can get over these clouds, then we can make our way back up towards 30 and 35. What you need to understand across the board is the formations of the bigger time frame candles. Okay? What we want to see here is a rounding bottom. What does a rounding bottom look like? That means next week we'd like to see something like this, maybe like a little tiny wick on here, and this goes for any name out there. We do not want to see a lower low, and then we want to see something like this. Okay, that's that rounding bottom technique. Okay, all right, next one that I added into yesterday was Apple. We did well. That was live. You can see that on my Twitter feed as well. We traded Apple. I still have Apple. All right, so this is where I wanted to start. We're back above that ME. We want to see a base here. This is the weekly. We definitely want to see an inside week on Apple, folks. That means that price needs to close above 121 and a quarter today. 121 and a quarter. All right, everybody understand that? I think we're good. Let's go ahead and move on. Couple other trades. I took Triple M. Triple M is a doozy. I'm going to tell you why. Because the spreads are nuts. All right. And because of that, I went ahead and went a little bit smaller. I started with two positions in this, just over, I think, $1,000. I'm keeping it small because it is wiki. And I actually explained this yesterday morning. It has topping wicks. That is your first sign that this is not an easy trade. So therefore, you need to find a position that's comfortable for you so you can withstand it, okay? For right now, this is my support, and I'm looking for 181. All right. All right. So other than that, let's see, we're at about 15 minutes before the market opens. Is there anything that you guys would like me to take a look at? Go ahead and say that here in main chat. Oxy. Let's go ahead and take a look at Oxy. That brings back some memories, right? So if you guys remember, we bought in the monies on some of these and we bought like for a year out. What if you would have just kept those? I had you set up with XLE, XLF, Oxy, all of these months ago, right? I bet they're pretty incredible by now. Let's go ahead and take a look. I reached out to my brother last night and I said, "Man, how are you doing in this?" And he said, "I bought energy. I bought the USO. So everything I was holding, I'm pretty much, just even. I'm doing well." So I'm really happy to hear that. So here's Oxy. And if we go back several months, which was right around this area, we have moved up very nice. This is the same blueprint right here that you were asking about. All right, so let's go over that, Nick, and see if anything's changed. Are you actually still holding this, or are you thinking about getting in? You're still holding? That's awesome. Love to hear that. All right. What we try to do here at Trendy Trading is teach Yes, sure, you can follow along. There's nothing wrong with that. But can you endure what I can endure? Everybody's different, all right? And all my traders here will tell you, some people probably can't endure what I do, and some people can. I love to see when you take the methodology, you apply it to your own trading, and then you become a successful, consistent trader. It's all about consistency. Okay. So here we are at that 30.97 and you're above it. That's a good thing. Anytime I have a target and we go above it, I want you to think 30.97 needs to stay support. As long as it stays support, look up into the left. You have a couple targets here. Your next one is going to be 34 and a half. Okay, 34 and a half. And really, we're just going to come over here right around this white dash that I have right there. Okay. And then we're going to move up. We're going to use the trendy edge, and you're going to have 40.5. Those are your targets, folks. All right, you got that? That's pretty awesome. 320% on the XLE. Awesome job. Let's see here, FSR. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Hey, DC, are you headed this way soon? Can't wait to meet you guys. Man, we got a lot of members here right in Florida, believe it or not. It's going to be an awesome vacation for some of you. And then we're going to have to invite some of you guys. So, all right, FSR. All right, FSR came down into the edge, the trendy edge, and we look for it to be support there. Notice I already had a box here. I'm not sure if you already asked me about this DC, but we came into the area of support and now we're bouncing out of it. On a 4 hour, what you're looking for is a price can get over this cloud here. Okay. Now you could look at it as an ACDC, and this is really important here. It's already made its move into the trendy edge. Okay. So this is a second attempt. I personally like the first attempts. All right. So you're underneath a little bit of resistance here. We need to get above that 4 hour cloud. Sure. How can you approach this? Stops are underneath the decelerator at around 2015. And as long as 2015 can hold longer buying time, we are looking for the trendy edge up towards 27 and a half. Okay. It's that simple. 20 needs to hold. We're looking for 27 and a half. That is a trade plan. All right, let's go ahead and move down here. Lithium. Let's go ahead and take a look at lithium. I'm in lithium, right? I believe I got some lithium. All right, so let's get back to this chart. It's been a long time, right? A lot of these things are just pulling back off of their highs, and you can see we came into an area of support. That area of support looks wide. It's not that wide. It's 1980 by 1620. Give it some time. This is the first bounce from this big session pullback. You got to be patient. Personally, let me say this right now so everybody can hear me. Today is a set and forget kind of day. I've done the work. I've endured the pain. I've been adding on the dip. It's been ugly. Okay. Now it's Friday. The sun is out. I have a lot of positions that are already starting to make some money. And now I need to just relax. Okay. You know, one of the hardest things to do is actually hold winning trades. Am I right? Nobody ever talks about this. Let's just go. I'm going to give, just listen to me for 2 minutes. Now that you've been read, right? Some of your trades have been read. Your first instinct is when they go green, you want to get out, right? Raise your hand. You know you do, right? It's just this psychological thing. For me, I need to step away and let the market do what it needs to do. I don't need to watch every tick. You're not going to make money that way. What you're going to do is self-sabotage yourself. Okay? If you've been adding on these dips, let them work for you. Sure, we're going to have a little bit of fun and I'll show you that here in a second, okay? All right, so lithium, just leave it alone. It needs to hold above 16. All right? If we start to show some sort of promise over 18.3, then I'll start adding again on strength. Okay. Let's see. The instigator, you said me. I'm not sure what that is. Sorry. All right. So that's that. And then we're going to move on down here. And Rocket. Let's go ahead, man. We did so well on Rocket, did we not? We have had 3 trades this year, ladies and gentlemen, where we got in before the Wall Street bets and we took full advantage of it, right? We didn't even know who they were. We did it because of trendy methodology. We jumped in on AMC, we jumped in on American Airlines, and we jumped in on Rocket. Absolutely amazing. We don't need Wall Street bets. You can find whatever reason you think. We just use edges, supply and demand, Fibonacci levels. Okay. All right. So RKT is here at 2760. It's having a bounce just like the rest of the market. I need to clean this up a little bit, so bear with me. All right. So we're in the 4-hour cloud. This is looking like a really nice rounding bottom here. Okay. On the 4-hour. And far as the weekly is concerned, this is ugly, right? That's called a topping wick. Now, a lot of times, take this base or that trendy edge, pretty amazing, $23. It needs to hold 23. And as long as it holds 23, you're looking for that move back up into the trendy edge at 32.51. Okay? Everybody got that? That's your trade plan. All right. Put credit spreads. If you like put credit spreads, you can use these edges down here to do that. Call credit spreads, I'd probably be selling the 35s and the 40s. That's just me. Let's go ahead and move on. All right. FGen. Wait, what? FGen? All right, 33.98. I love these kind of candles. Love, love, love these. Thanks for sharing. Anything that has a strong pullback like this, you have to go to a monthly. All right, listen to me. You guys are going to get some education here. Big drop like this is where we usually make our most money. You need to be identifying an area where you want to buy. Guess what, Omer? If you weren't checking this out on the monthly, you're missing out. See this big green arrow over here? This told you right here, trendy scripts, they don't lie to you. This is where we buy. Notice the first time that price came into here, this is where we buy, and then you get this big move from that 26 level. Now, on a bigger pullback, see, we've already tested this. The question is, can it make a higher low? It's already dipped where it needs to, all right? So for anything, or if anything, what I'm looking for is if it cannot get above 40% of this down candle. And I'll be teaching this on our fib workshop that's coming out soon. And you don't want to miss it, folks. You really don't need to have a whole lot. I'm going to teach you that. If you can't get above 40% of this, I would look for it to continue down into the YE Omer at around 26. Okay? All right. Yeah, it's in a zone right here. You see that? You got a little inside and up in here. But the problem is it's not very strong, Omer. It's not very strong. Not in my opinion. So the marketing team will be sending that out, Margot. Yep, all that stuff's coming out soon. So we have a team that work for us. They'll be putting all that together. No problem. It's going to be awesome because really, it's pretty much the only thing you need at the end of the day besides getting the mind right that could really help you become a consistent trader. That's for sure. A lot of traders, they use pretty traditional methods. We're a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to identify the right ranges and so forth to really take advantage of Fibonacci trading. Okay, no problem. All right, so let's talk about this right before we open. We have 4 minutes. I love zero DTE trades. We did really, really well on Monday. Or was it Wednesday? Was it both? I have no idea. But we did really well. We did several 100% on one way, and then the call side went positive. I let it go to zero, but it did end up moving up, and then it went back down. But it did work out. We made more money on the put side than we did on the call side, regardless. So today, zero DTE, date till expiration. Let's go ahead and pull up the SPY. All right. So the idea here on a 0 DTE is that it does expire today. What I'm typically looking for are options that fall, especially during volatility. I'm looking for options that fall somewhere between 25 to 40 cents. Okay, so 25 to 40 bucks. I'm looking for a bigger move. We need to pull in the SPY, okay, and we need the blueprint. I share these blueprints every weekend before the market opens. Okay, nobody makes it easier. Anybody know anyone that makes it easier? Please reach out to me and I'll prove to you they don't. This is called a neutral strategy. When price goes over the neutral, we look to go long into the targets that I provide over the weekend. When price goes down underneath the neutral, we look to go short into the targets I provide. As you can see here, this worked out very well. Not only did you make money going to the upside this week, and we know that these are resistance, but you also made money going short into the targets that I provided. Both of these setting up for awesome trades to the upside and downside. Neutral strategy. So what happens today? Well, let's make it easy. We need 376 to hold. It's at 380. And what I'd be looking for right here is if for some reason we reject, okay, right around this level here, 37.6 and a half. Let's go ahead and just check that. Yeah, somewhere around 376 and a half. I would be buying the options towards 381, 380 to 381. Now, what about the put side? If for some reason we open up here and we break to the upside, this number right here, 385, I'm buying puts down towards 380. Okay. So again, if for some reason we pull back into this area here, I'm looking to buy the calls up here. And if we break out into these green arrows, I'm buying the puts down here. Very straightforward. All right. Anybody have questions about that? We do this almost every 0 DTE day. A lot of times they work out, sometimes they don't. But again, they're really inexpensive, and it kind of gets you in the trading zone to understand levels and so forth. Okay. All right, let's get back over here to the ES. I told you guys this morning one way. Let's go ahead and set these alerts, by the way. Okay, right around there, and then I want an alert right down here. Just like that. And let's go ahead and move on. You know, oil is skyrocketing, by the way. And we said it this morning. Gas is going up. Not good for somebody like me that lives on the water. I took the jet ski out the other day, and it literally was like you could just watch the gas go down. The thing is a gas guzzler, man. 300 horsepower on that thing. I was asking my neighbors, is this normal? Is this normal for gas to like I can literally just watch it go down? All right, so what we're going to see here, ES futures, we're going to use the PMZ pre-market zone. It's a trendy script. We're going to look for, see this right here. So you can see this morning, the risk is pretty high because it's volatile, but we need that little zone to hold. And I'm going to apologize in advance because we have volatility in the market. The TOS charts are acting a little wonky. Okay. Something's up really big here. Anybody know what it is? Something, I don't know if it's a spread that's messed up or what. Let me check into my members here. Oof. Something's up. What is this? Tiger's up nicely. Okay, I see now. DMTK came back. Very nice. All right, and I held that, by the way. So it's our BAC. Oh shit, it is our BAC. That's what it is. I think, um, so I went ahead and trimmed some BAC, but I think something's up. There it goes. All right, there we go. Trim some there. Again, this was a larger position. The rest I'm just going to hold on here. We're going to leave those there, okay? ES coming into the PMZ. Um, I don't want to see this. What I want to see is that we continue to base above the PMZ. We need to take out this pre-market high so we can work towards 3843, okay? Okay, MMM came back in a little bit. It's the market's at $4.12 on our options. I tried to actually buy more of that yesterday, but because of the spreads, I just was having a hard time. Now, what I'll probably do, because I intend on enjoying my day after we set up some trades here, is don't forget on all of your trades, if you're going to step away, find an area where you wouldn't mind selling and go ahead and put some orders in to sell there. You never know what's going to happen. So even though I encourage you to set and forget and get away from the screen sometimes, there's nothing worse than going, hey man, this is really cool, John. Thanks. I'm at the beach drinking a beer, and you didn't realize that your favorite stock or something that you're in or an option went up tremendously and you missed the entire thing. So always put in some orders out there where you'd be happy on getting out of a position. Okay? And that's what I'm gonna do here on Triple M, just in case. All right, and I'll put some in for sell around 6.5 if we can get there. I mean, it's a stink, it's just in case. All right, so we're pulling back a little bit here. Remember what I said about the SPY? I'll get to that here in a second. All right, so I got my first order in for Triple M in case it does anything here, okay? Man, silver not doing a thing. All right, you can see here on our trendy PMZ indicator, it's yellow. Yellow is telling you like it's neutral, so just kind of hang out. All right, don't do anything. All right, so let's get over here. Let's look at, I'm gonna put XLE over here on the left. So let's go ahead and unlink this. And let's just see what's going on over here. Now, when you're just kind of drifting in space like this on this nice gap up, and you go ahead and you pull the trigger, I like to go smaller because there is a slight probability that we could pull back. I'll teach in the fib class what that is, depending on the percentages and so forth. But if I go small, then I'm set up to be okay if we do pull back. All right, and then I can add into the position. But again, looking for 56 to 57. So I'm going to pull this up really quick and see what we have out there as far as option choices. And so far, none of my alerts have went off for SPY, but we are pulling back here. So I may get the opportunity to buy the call side, and I'll look at those when that happens. All right. So the 56s are $1.20 by $1.33 for 42 days. I don't want to buy the target because if we pull back, we're just that much further away. So I'm going to start out here and I'm going to actually buy, let's see, we're trading at 52.45. I'm going to buy these 49s. These are in the money. Let's see here. We have the 52s. All right, we're half off the high here on ES. We were up 40 something points and now at 20. That means the SPY's pulled back $2. All right, let's see what this ES is going to do. Let me pull up. Actually, I'm going to come right back to the XLE for a second in a minute, but I want to look at SPY really quick. Should be getting pretty close to that target. Thinkorswim's frozen up. Anybody else? Just for a second, though. Chewy, mark at or below 84.56. That was an area that I was interested in. Yeah, it's definitely getting chewed up, man. It's too bad, you know. It's absolutely, I bet, but that's a great company and great stock. I wouldn't mind buying on a big dip like this. The question is, was it just too overvalued, you know, which I think a lot of things were, but all right, BAC looking really good as well. Don't forget about those unless you want to buy shares at the end of the day. CVX on a nice little push too. Now remember, we've had a really big move even to the downside. All right. So when we have big moves, remember, we digest, right? right, it's only been 12 minutes since market open. Feels like 12 hours, right? Okay, we're gonna start off small here on XLE. I'm just gonna buy. I'm just gonna pay what they're asking because I'm going in small. Not too concerned. Yeah, let me move this. This is a little too far over. There we go. All right, let's see if there's any other opportunities out there. CVX is really interesting to me. Um, SPY is interesting to me here. Whether or not we can get over this PMZ. Good 30 minutes to an hour is a good time to just kind of wait. But SPY, what I was looking at were the 383, 384s. They're only 30 cents. And what we'd be looking for is this upper level here. Okay, but I am waiting for the my alert to go off, but I'm not sure if we're going to pull all the way back there. We'll see. I'm trying to be patient. Let's go over here and take a look at CVX. CVX, I mean, this might be a nice zero DTE trade on CVX. See if we can hit 108 today. Let's see how much these are going for. Even I don't know if they got 108.50s. And I need to write in here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the session right here, and we're just going to chill out and wait for a little bit, see what the market wants to do in the first hour there, okay?